Welcome to the Russian Language Academy. In this video, we're gonna do that's gonna be lesson number 2 about the Russian alphabet. In this video, we're gonna focus on letters that come from, this is 16th letter, a letter O, all the way to the 33rd letter, which is Ya. Once again, Russian alphabet has 33 letters. And I'm gonna just review letter before O, which is letter N. That's how it looks. It's not letter H as in English. It's a completely entirely different letter. It has a letter N. So for now, we're not gonna focus on cursive letters. We're gonna do it later. We're gonna focus on print letters. So this is letter N as in Nina, no, and this letter is O, very similar to English, and O sound always remains O. It's like in more. You will not meet this in Russian alphabet, Russian language. All letters, that's why there's so many, because you're not going to be guessing what sound does it make, like in English. This is O, sound O is assigned to letter O. So you're going to cow in English, that's A sound. You're not going to meet it in Russian language like that. It's going to be always O. For example, Oksana. Oksana is a girl's name, starts with letter O. Oles is a boy's name, starts with letter O. Ozero, which is lake, starts with letter O. So that's going to be letter O. Sometimes you'll meet instances where letter O is blended with other letters, which makes kind of sound like A. Example would be korova. Korova is a cow in Russian, and korova, it starts with K, K, letter K, O, R, Re, O, V, A, korova. But when we pronounce it, even O's kind of sound like A sound, korova. Some people say korova, but that's very rarely. It's more like original dialect. Most people blend it to korova, and you have to remember that it's a korova. So that's gonna be exception. Here is the, like in English language, altar. You don't say it altar, you say it altar, right? In Russian language, that's gonna be, I don't know, really almost like non-existent instances. This 17 letter, number 17, is letter P. Letter P. Papa. Papa is dad in Russian. In English. In Russian is papa. Поле. Поле is a field. Пошли is let's go. Пошли. That's the letter P. P, P, P. It's very distinctive. It's not long letter, not long sound. You take a couple of seconds to make it, and then you let go and move on to another sound. Number 18 is letter Re. That's the letter R. That's make sound R. It's not faint sound. You have to make it distinctively. R. as in river, right. Right is pretty short. So in Russian it's slightly more like reka. Reka, you have to pronounce it. You have to give this a letter a couple of seconds of attention to make the sound r. Reka. Ruka. Reka is a river. Reka, ruka is an arm. Arm. Ruka. Радость. Радость is happiness. R. Also, couple of seconds, very distinctive sound. You don't try to blend it. Those are the sound consonants, right? They're manly sounds. You have to give a man attention, okay? You have to shake his hand. We're gonna treat it like that. And you have to just look at the guy and meet his eyes, and then you move on to the other people, okay? Let's use that analogy. That's letter S. It's always pronounced as S. S. Letter S, but sound is always S. It's individual sound, S. You're never gonna say S. I mean, in the words, when you're gonna use, when you're gonna start reading, you're not gonna say S. You're gonna make it as a sound S. S. So that stands for, I think it's never sound K. It's never there. It's, remember, in Russian language, it's all organized. It's gonna be like see with your eyes, see as the water. We're going to the sea. Синяя, синий, синий is blue. Синий, синий. It's, you also give it a couple of seconds, very distinctive sound. You can't make it silent, because then it's not gonna be the Russian language. It's gonna be something else. It's gonna be, basically, don't pronounce it. It's, so in Russian language, you have to give those guys attention. You have to pronounce them for a few seconds. You give that sound. Синие. So it's more like a 2-second sound. Синяя, сорока. Сорока is raven in English. Сорока, that's a bird. Number 20 is te. Te. This is capital, this is small. We, once again, don't focus on the cursive ones. It's a completely different set of alphabet. Looks kind of like entirely different language, but it's not. I believe in English that's the same way. If you try to write cursive, you're not always gonna, if you don't know cursive, you're not gonna always know which letter it is. In Russian it's more complicated. So that's te. And te in Russian is more of a lower, it's like a mature sound, te. Like in train. Let me see. Train is slightly, it's not the Russian sound of te. Te in Russian is more, so train is really more like a higher pitch. Te in Russian is more of a, let me see, night. Night. That's one of the tests that you'll meet in Russian language. Not very often. So te is Tatiana. Tatiana is, girl's name starts with letter T, te. Tatiana is very Also, you give few attention to this guy, te. Trolleybus, Tatiana, very similar frequency wave, sound frequency. Trolleybus is the tram, bus. It's like a bus, but it's on the rails. Trolleybus. Taiga, forest in Siberia called taiga, all with letter T. This letter number 21 is U. Au. Au, you combine this A and U and you get au. That's what people say when they get lost in Russia. In the Russian forest, they say au. So U, it's always gonna be U. It's not gonna be A. It's not gonna be U. It's always gonna be U. As in look. Look in English has the similar sound as Russian U. Is a brain in Russian. So U, you give, it's a girl, it's a vowel sound. So you give this girl slightly more seconds of your attention. You give a lady a compliment, probably. Let's count as that. Utka. As you see, utka, you pronounce sound U for like maybe 3 seconds. Te for maybe 1 to 2 seconds. Letter K for 1 to 2 seconds. A is very short because it's at the end. You don't really give much attention on the end. You still pronounce them, but very quickly. It's like you're shaking hands. You're walking into the room, shaking hands with a bunch of people, and you talk to them, you give them compliments, and then maybe after meeting 5 people, the rest you just like, yeah, you nodded to them and you walked to your place. So that type of thing. So utka. Number 22 is F. That's F. F sound. As in face, as in fabric, as in what else in English? I'm just factory. So that's letter F, and it always makes F sound. In Russian, that's gonna be Foma. Foma is a boy's name, biblical name. In English, that's gonna be Thomas. So in Russian, that's Foma. Fakel. Fakel is like a flame. It's also, you give this letter a couple of, it's very pronounced sound, fakel. This is letter 23, that's he, ha, ha sound, where is it? Ha. Ha as in house, horse, hat. That's kind of ha sound, sound you're looking for. In Russian language, it's for хлеб. Хлеб is bread. Хлеб, also a few seconds of that sound. Хлеб. Halva. Halva is Russian sweets that made from sunflower seeds. Halva. Хорошо. Хорошо is also starts. Хорошо is everything as well. Like хорошо is everything. Все хорошо. Хорошо is well. So this letter number 24, I recommend for you to highlight the sound because in English language that's kind of non-existent sound. It's letter tse. Tse is something that English language doesn't have sound tse. So you act like you're gonna make letter sound te, but you don't say it. You immediately switch your mind to like S. So you pretend like you're making sound te, but then you change your mind and you quickly say almost like sound S. So that's what you get. Tse. 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 Цапля. That's a bird. Tsatsa. Tsatsa is like a slang for a girl who's all dressed up, dolled up, and looking like a doll. Tsatsa. Ценность. Цена. Цена is the price. You're gonna walk to the market and you're gonna say, what price is it? You're gonna ask, какая цена? Цена. So that's one of the sounds that you're gonna meet often in the Russian language. Цыпленок. Цыпленок. Цыпленок is a chicken baby. So this letter, so it's also tse sound is цапля. You make it distinctive. Couple of seconds of that sound. So letter number 25 is che, as in chocolate. Che. What else? Chocolate. Change. Though that's the same. That's the sound stands for this letter che. In Russian language, it's also quite common sound. Черемуха. Черемуха is a tree. A type of tree. Череда. Череда stands for sequence of events. Sequence. Череда. Chai. Chai is tea. So number 26, that's letter sha. Sh. So this entire letter is responsible for sh. Sh. In English, that would be similar to shut up. Not shut, so it's going to be shut up sound. That's what comes to my mind. I'm thinking about other words, but they're not sh sound. Shut up. Shut up. Sh. In Russian language, it's for широко. Широко is wide. Shura. Shura is boy's name or girl's name made from, it's like a nickname that comes from Alexander or Alexandra name. Let's move to the sound. That's she, sha, sha sound. This is sh. Very soft. It's not sh. It's very soft. Sh. Sh. It's so it's basically there are two relative sounds, but this one is very soft. It's like in sheep. In English language, that's gonna be sheep. Share. That's the sound for sheep and share. And sometimes, okay, that's gonna be a different, slightly different discussion. So this is not a letter, that's a sign. And we're gonna come back to this one at the end of this lesson. And you'll know why. This is letter E. E. In English language, that is used in when we pronounce we are going to the store. We, that's the same sound that it makes, very similar. So whenever you try to make this sound, E, think about we. Just don't say the W sound, focus on, so it's like we, E, E, E. This is a sign. So number 28 and 20 and 30, that's a sign. We're not gonna discuss it right now. We're gonna switch to letter, and then I'll tell you about those signs. This is letter E. It always stands for letters in the sounds in Russian language represented by this letter E. So like I said, in Russian language, you're not gonna have a word written with this letter and that's gonna be a sound. No, everything is organized. Russians really like organizing things, and that's why it has to be organized. The sounds have to be organized. It's not, for them, English language is a highly disorganized language. So like in echo, ella, elephant, that's the same sound. If we wrote those words in English using Russian language, we're gonna use this letter to write ella, elephant, echo. In Russian language, echo is echo, echo. Ella is a girl's name. You're also gonna write with this letter. Edward, name Edward, you're gonna write with letter. In Russian, that's gonna be Edward, because you're gonna pronounce all the letters. You're not gonna swallow any of them, because that's gonna freak the Russians out. How are you having a bunch of letters and you're ignoring them? That's like huge sign you don't do that. You have to give them all attention. So echo, Edward. What else? Energy, energia, energia. What else? Электричество, электричество, that's electricity in English. U, that's a letter that represents U sound, as in, I don't know in English, what is it? Let me think about U. Same letter that, so if you, in English letter, let's say you're with Russian language, you want to write English word U. You're just gonna write this letter, U. And that's it. In Russian language, there are many words that use this letter. One of them is Yulia. Yulia is a girl's name. Yulia. So U-L, yeah. Yulia. Yura. Yura is a boy's name. So you write U-Ra-R-A. Yura. What else? Well, I don't want to give you complicated words, so let's focus on this. I'll give you like 2 examples. This is the last letter in the alphabet is ya. Ya, ya, ya. In English language, that's the sound that is not really like a formal sound, like yo, hey, yo, all. Yao. So the yao, when people in English language say yao, that's the sound they're making. Yao. Ya. Ya, ya, ya. Ya means I. I want to go to the, I don't know, whatever, blank. Ya. So in Russian language, there is a saying, I is the last letter in the Russian alphabet. I. So that's how important you are, basically. Ya. So it's яблоко. Яблоко, that's apple. And it's, you also give a few seconds to the sound. It's very common to be at the beginning. I mean, at the end is the more common. When you describing a feminine form of the Russian words, nouns, adjectives, and verbs, when you show it, when you give them feminine form, that's when you're commonly gonna see it. But it's also some words, not very often, but start with letter Ya. One of the Russian old cities, Yaroslavl, starts with letter Ya. Russian boy's name, Yaroslav, starts with letter Ya. Yana is a girl's name, starts with letter Ya. So that's the end of the Russian letters. Now we're going to focus on signs. That's a твердый знак. Твердый знак in English means hard sign, hard sound. Hard sound, basically you'll see it between two letters. And when you see it between two letters, it stops letters from blending together. And I'm going to show you next time some examples. But whenever you see, I think I'm going to write it for you guys to give you example. I don't know if so let me write this down. Let me see if it's visible. Okay, so first example, we're not gonna look at it. It's in cursive. Ignore it. I realize you guys are still not there. So this is in Russian language. You read it сел. S, e sound. Сел, сел, l, сел. This is, so сел means sit down, sat down. Clearly very similar, but there is a твердый знак, hard sound, because it has a tail. Tail here shows the hard sound. Hard sound, sign. So when you see it between two letters, instead of blending and saying сел, you're gonna say s. Pause it for a few seconds and say yell, yell, yell. Means eating. So you don't blend it. You don't blend the letters. It prevents them, it gives them a pause. It's like a block, like a wall that doesn't let sounds to combine together. You don't blend it. That's basically what it does. Сел, yell. Completely yell. Сел. Let's focus on мягкий знак. Мягкий знак is the soft sound. So remember, all letters in the Russian language, when we say them as we say them in the alphabet, that's their neutral sound. That's the sound that you assign to them, right? But when you add this sound, this sign, it changes their frequency it makes them very soft, their pronunciation very soft. For example, that's gonna be sest. Let me write this to you guys. Oh, start with cursive again. Sest. So example would be this. So that's gonna be S-E-S-T. Sest. Without the sound, without the sign, you're gonna say it's sest. But in Russian language, because you see the soft sound, it makes this letter has to be pronounced very, very softly. Like softly meaning you, I'll show you. So sest, but you say it's sest, like the pitch goes slightly up. Sest, not sest, sest. As you pronounce it as softly as you can. And when I say softly, I mean it not in volume, not in loudness, but in the pitch goes really very soft, like you're just sest. Another word would be, so it's very common to have the combination of this st мягкий знак. Месть. So here again, M-E-S-T. Without the sound, the soft sound, which has no tail, it has no tail, which makes it soft sound. So we're gonna pronounce it mest, mest. We can add O, it's gonna be mesto, a place. But since we added мягкий знак, it's gonna say месть, very soft, месть. So when we add the soft sound, it makes it similar to the English sound of train. Not the hard T, but very soft T. Mist. Almost like a train. Almost like a whisperish kind of tendency to it. Mist. And also focus that this is ST. They're very common when you see it in Russian. So mest means revenge in the Russian language. Let me think of another word to give you at least 3 examples. Okay, borscht. Russian common dish is borscht. It's a soup, red soup. So let's write it in the borscht. Okay, let me put it here. Let me see if you can see it. Nope, you can't. Let me write on a different piece of paper. Let's see. Yep. So borscht, B-O-R-Sh, like sheep, and then you also make it even softer. Sometimes in this kind of instances, it's more added for symbolism. And so in this instance, you pronounce this sound very, very softly. Borscht, borscht. Usually it's sh, and here you like sh. You kind of make it like even longer. Borscht. The softest you can pronounce. Okay, another example would be bol. Bol is pain. Bol. Let's look at this. Bol. B, 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 o, l, мягкий знак. So without мягкий знак, soft sound, you're gonna say bol. Bol, it's gonna be something that pronounced like a neutral L, but it's not gonna mean this word. People's gonna be saying, what is bol, 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 bol. But when you're gonna say bol, you pronounce L sound very softly, as soft as you can. You change the frequency of the sound and make it bol. People know it's a pain. So the dilemma for people who learn the Russian language, I think as with any other languages you learn, some of the many sounds, many words, you have to memorize, kind of visualize to realize where you need to add this sound. Like native language speakers, they know that bol comes very softly. They just know by muscle memory. But with people who learn the Russian language, they have to visualize it and to remember that in this letter, in this word bol, it comes very soft. It's not just bol, it's bol. Another example would be, I'm gonna use very common words that are useful for people. L, U, B, O, V, V. Here we're gonna look at this and we're gonna know that V, V sound is gonna be very, very soft. It's V is neutral, but we're gonna make it very soft. Lubov. Lubov means love. Lubov. Lubov is a love. Like I love someone, I love God, I love this person, I love, I don't know, whatever you guys love, fill in the blank. And also a girl's name is Lubov. Luba is a short name for Lubov. I don't know, I'm thinking if I should give you another example. Let me see, how many minutes did I? 38 minutes. Okay, that's kind of a lot. Okay, so I think I'm gonna end here. Thank you so much for listening to the Russian Language Academy. And I'm gonna be offering people who want to practice Russian language with me. We're also offering some of the conversational Russian, reading Russian. I believe that people who really want to learn the language, they need to read aloud with someone who is the native speaker. I'm also gonna start we're gonna over this over and over a few lessons, because it is important through different examples of words to learn the meaning of the Russian sounds, because that's how you're gonna learn to speak when you learn the sounds. That's how you're gonna learn to read when you know the sounds. you're going to be able to combine oral language with the written language. So thank you so much, and you guys have a good day and good studies of the Russian language. Bye-bye.